1:35 on this Saturday afternoon. Good afternoon. Ken Brew, proud to be with you on this 50,000-watt blowtorch July 4th weekend. You may not know this. This may come as breaking news to you, but we exist. We, in the over-the-air commercial media, exist and are able to ply our livelihood because we sell commercials. I don't know if you understand the concept here, but we actually do run commercials. We run them here, the TV side where I work as well, down at WCPO, 9 on your side. We sell commercials. We want to work with people, have to work with people who want to sell things, and we, in turn, help them sell things. That's what makes our world go round. And you've probably noticed from time to time that commercials, some of them remain with you, some of them don't remain with you. Some of them you watch and you say, what the hell did I just watch? What was that for? And you might often have noticed that over the course of time, particularly if you're a veteran listener or watcher, that sex is a big part of getting you to buy something. It may be in the way a product is designed. It may be in the way the product is promoted. It may be in the way that it's presented by the person trying to get you to buy this product. And for many, many years in our business, we believe that sex sells. You put something that has those three letters on a commercial, or put someone in a commercial that oozes that, and all of a sudden, that will translate into great product buy for that company that's advertising. But as Bob Dylan sang all those years ago, the times they are a-changin'. And sex may not sell as well as it did in the past. And you can only look to really what we saw in Super Bowl ads, for example, this year, where it wasn't Paris Hilton. It wasn't a lot of glam and glamour. It was most of the commercials that ran that, frankly, a lot of people, a lot of critics thought were boring, were pretty straightforward sells. Here's this product, here's what it does, and this is why you should buy it. And maybe we'll throw a joke in here or there, and that's it. But the eroticism just wasn't there this year. And I'm wondering if we're moving away from that and whether that's a good or a bad thing. Lindsey Harrison is a marketing expert. She runs her own marketing agency, and I wanted to talk to Lindsey today because a lot of us are watching more television, and maybe a lot of us are discovering what I've discovered. Lindsey Harrison, welcome to 700 WLW. Thank you for joining us.
Happy 4th of July weekend.
Thank you. Same to you. Am I on the right track here? Is sex, eroticism, the provocative way we had gone about advertising products, are we moving away from that now as an advertising and as a consumer society?
You know, it's interesting that you say that. When I first started looking at this topic, I did a little bit of research when this came across my desk and started looking at what is happening online and went online and said, does sex sell? Now, as a marketing expert, we've always been taught that sex sells, and that's what we tell our clients as well, and we do creative based on that. And I don't know if it's so much sex, but it's sexy. Mm-hmm. And that's definitely a marketing tool that you are taught. Now, there is a basis of that. It comes back to evolution and the oldest part of our brain that's responsible for survival of you look for food, danger, and sex. And that's a subconscious thing that happens in the back of our brain all the time.
Wow, you just described tonight for me.
There you go. So there is something to be said about sex sells.
Yeah.
I mean, sex and advertising started back in 1871 with the tobacco industry.
Really?
Everybody will remember Brooke Shields and the Calvin Klein commercials that she was selling jeans. And I think that for us to say that sex doesn't sell anymore or that we are moving away from that, I think that it's just changing a little bit. I think that our brains are starting to look at sexy and what does sexy mean to somebody. And that might be different for everyone. It might not be the traditional blonde bombshell anymore, but it's more of the sexy side of things.
Sure.
So you brought up, go ahead.
No, I can remember back as a kid, Joe Namath, who obviously was a very good, at the time, a very good-looking, very successful football player, did an ad for Noxzema, which was a shaving cream. And he had this waifish blonde, and she was draped all over him, and she's putting shaving cream all over Joe's face so Joe can shave, and you got done with the ad, and I remember this specifically because I was just entering my teen years, and after seeing that, I couldn't remember what the product was. What was she doing? All I knew that they were in a bathroom and she was putting shaving cream on his face. I couldn't remember the product. It took me to see that commercial another 2 or 3 times to realize, oh, okay, that's Noxema. I'm not sure that worked for the company that was advertising.
Well, so you say that, but the way that advertising works is you have to see something 8 times in order for it to register with you.
Wow.
So whether you're using sex or you're using humor or you're using direct sales, you have to see it 8 times for that to happen.
Wow.
So you saying that you had to see it 2, 3, 4 times, I would argue that, yeah, it did work, because that was half of the time that it would have taken otherwise.
Right. Well, I was a smart kid, but I was just taken aback that I couldn't remember that. But 8 times seems like a lot. Like, for example, Procter & Gamble is based in Cincinnati, and they have a lot of different products that they advertise, and they're on TV all over the place. You're telling me when somebody at Procter & Gamble goes to one of the networks or however it works with advertising agencies, they have to buy a lot of commercials just so the average person can see it enough times to know that they're selling Pringles or they're selling some sort of soap or whatever it may be. That seems like a lot of effort to get into and get your product advertised. 8 times seems like a big number.
Well, it definitely is, and so that's why you've seen internet, and you've seen radio, and you've seen TV really start to mingle with each other. So you'll have these big brands that say they do a commercial with your company, then they will run something on TV, then they will do something on the web, and then they'll actually use web analytics to retarget you. So you've seen those pesky ads that continue to follow you around the internet. They do that to make sure that you see it those 8 times and it starts registering.
Well, let me ask you this, because the key demographic that everyone seems to chase, be it radio, be it TV, and I can't speak for internet, but 25 to 54, in particular women 25 to 54, is a huge demo. That's what you, in anything, that's what you want to be number one in, whether it's radio, whether it's TV. And getting back to this whole sex versus sexy, it would seem to me that sex for that demo would not quite be as appealing as it might be for a man 25 to 54, and sexy may be. Now, is that just some old guy talking, or is there something to that?
Well, I think there's definitely something to that. So, you know, we're talking about the commercials that are part of the Super Bowl. And one of my favorite commercials was the Buy commercial, and it's a drink. It's the Buy drink. And Justin Timberlake was part of that commercial, and his song Bye, Bye, Bye was on it. Now, in my mind, I'm in the demographic that you just said, and Justin Timberlake, to me, is sexy. And they also brought humor to it as well. Well, again, while thinking about doing this with you today, I went and bought a Buy drink. I had never heard of it before 3 weeks ago. So that did it for me. And that was a sexy, funny commercial to me. Now, he wasn't standing there without his shirt on. But again, Justin Timberlake, to me specifically, is a sexy man, and that sold it.
So it would have to connect with you on a personal level, which obviously it did, and then obviously the product would have to be good for you to go back and buy it. But there was a connection, which I know so often in media, whether you do what I do or you do what you do, there's got to be a connection with the consumer, and obviously that found it with you. Is there a base? Is there a common thread about good advertising? What would be just, I guess, basic rules of advertising with connecting with a consumer, and how would sexy or sex connect with that? You know, it would be a part of that.
Yeah, definitely. So, sexy, sex, that's just one tool that you can use in advertising or in marketing. So you've got sex as one, you've got humor as one. As of right now, you're seeing a lot of commercials that are really trying to pull at the heartstrings. That's another one. You use reason as another one. So this is just one tool that marketers use in their toolbox to help sell a product. If we go back to the Does Sex Sell, I went in and looked at 2017 ads. And if it wasn't selling, it's hard for me to believe that Volkswagen, Victoria's Secret, Godiva Chocolate, even PETA. PETA has an ad right now with Pamela Anderson, and she has a bikini on. And these are all 2017 ads, and they're a lot bigger, and they have a lot more marketing expertise probably behind them than myself and my team. But my goodness, if it doesn't sell, I would think that we would be going away from that.
And this is not gender specific. We're chatting with Lindsey Harrison. She's a marketing expert. She understands what's going on, runs her own agency, marketing agency. We're talking about sex in advertising, and does it still sell? It's not gender specific anymore. I mean, there are ads targeted at men that do the same kinds of things, and it may not be Pamela Anderson with a bikini on. I'm trying to get that vision in my head. Does she still look good? I mean, she might be as old as I am right now. I'm not sure. Not that people my age.
Fantastic, whatever she's doing.
Right. Not that I'm trying to insult every woman my age. I'm just wondering, what that. But anyway, I mean, it's not. None of this is gender specific. I mean, they're coming at you, whether you're a male or a female, with this stuff and trying to connect with you. Is it harder to connect from an advertising standpoint, and a marketing standpoint, with a man or a woman? Because I've heard that women are the 25 to 54-year-old women are the key demo because they make all the big buys, whether it's inside their family or whether they're single or whatever it may be. And that men are kind of like the forgotten demographic, except when it comes to live sports. Is it tougher to connect with a man or a woman in that demo?
Well, I think that you're always going to have a tougher time connecting with women. Reason why is,
I certainly have.
It's kind of an old age joke, right? Men are on a one track mind, and women are all over the place, and you can't. That's just the way that we are wired as well. So I think that as advertisers, you're going to have to start, or you're seeing brands that are starting to look at a few different other ways to advertise other than just the sex. But again, maybe it's the sexy side of it, as well as bringing humor, as well as bringing logic, as well as bringing heartstrings. You're having to do probably a few more tactics as opposed to just putting a sex symbol on laundry detergent and men buy it. Right. No, I understand that. It's we tend to have a one-track mind. If somebody wants to find you, Lindsey, and talk to you more about this or find out what you're all about, what could someone listening today do? Yeah, so my firm, it's It Crowd Marketing. We are in Dallas, Texas, and the website is I as in igloo, T as in Thomas, crowd, like a crowd of people, marketing.com.
Sounds wonderful. Thank you so much for your time here today. I'm not going to be duped by some of the things I'm going to see on television or radio anymore just because of you.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me on. Have a great 4th of July.
Thank you, Lindsey. Except, of course, the things we sell here on News Radio 700 WLW.